Hey guys, Jared here with Self-Taught Shooter. We're at the gun range. Obviously, we're sitting in our car right now. Didn't want to record out there. We had a couple of people at the shooting range, so rather not bring the camera out right in front of them, so they have their privacy while they're out here doing their thing. So today we're out here just to work on some brief pistol practice. We're going to go through 6 magazines, 15 rounds apiece. I believe that's 135 rounds or 134, who knows. Anyways, we're just going to go through about 6 magazines. Swap targets halfway through, and really just, again, keep practicing our pistol fundamentals. I'm really starting to feel good with my grip, so let's go do that. You want to go reset that? Yeah, go for it. All right.
Tem que virar meio que na cabecinha. Aí não fica mais longa distância, você vira em cima. Peraí. Abre a Aperta 45 vezes você. Não é nem porque é muito potente. É, tipo, é muito bizarro.
It's always high.
I gotta buy a rope or something for.
What do we got? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 15 up there. Actually, I'm not doing one. All right. All right, guys, we're done shooting for the day. We did our 6 magazines. Had a pretty good time. There was another couple next to me, so I didn't really want to set up all my cameras or, really get them on video or make them uncomfortable because it might have just been a date night thing for them, and I just don't want to disturb that. So really only focused on filming myself while I shot, so we could watch my hand grip as we shoot. Some of the things I wanted to say that I focused on today was definitely where I rest the pad of my finger on the trigger. We're trying to get, instead of being, I usually will put it right in the groove there, right in my the hinge of my finger there, but today we really focused on being right in the middle of the pad, so really just giving straight pulls to the best of my ability. I did notice that with the slightest bit of pressure to the left or right, I was seeing my rounds go a little more left, a little more right, and I think ultimately I tend to wrap my whole finger around the trigger, which leads to a lot of my shots going left. So as you'll see on these targets, we do hook a little to the left. I'm actively trying to work against that, so I'm trying to get more familiar with putting my finger pad on the center, or putting the trigger on the center of my pad. I think a lot more dry firing at home can help me kind of improve that muscle retention to make sure that I'm still doing that just instinctively instead of something that I have to think about every time I go and shoot. So again, like just remembering to put our finger a little bit to the left or a little bit more centered on the trigger. Some other things I noticed is obviously keeping that lower grip pressure really helps mitigate the recoil of the firearm. So I do feel that the more consciously I grip lower on the gun, the less it jumps in my hand between shots, which allows for not just quicker follow-up, but just overall more consciousness of the scenario that I'm in, right? So again, we're only shooting pistol targets, but if we were shooting something that's a moving target, being able to control your recoil much more effectively means that you can retain your sights on target, especially a target that's moving. So if I want to get into the world of competitive shooting, maintaining my pistol recoil control is really important. So we're going to keep working on that. But I think today really focusing on my finger placement on the pistol has proven to be, a great resource to myself, because looking at these targets, when I do, take all these different fundamentals into account, I'm noticing my grouping is starting to shrink in. It's starting to get a little more populated in a tighter area, which is fantastic. Because if you went and look back at when we started doing this in October or November, our groupings were kind of all over the place. So I'm feeling a lot better now about my groupings, and that's just how it is today. So short range visit. That's really all I got for you guys. If you want to stick around for a couple minutes, I just want to talk about kind of what my goal or my focus is for self-taught shooter as a project for myself, specifically within 2025 or the beginning of this year. It's like February 2nd today, so we're already a month into the year. But I just wanted to say, like, this self-taught shooter thing, I'm not putting myself out there because I really want to be graded by anyone else, or I'm trying to prove somehow that I can be as good as anybody else just by doing this myself. This is more or less just a project for me to track my own progress. So with doing this, I'm not setting any goals that are to put myself in competition with others. I have mentioned before I would love to get into competitive shooting, but that's more so as a hobby or a game for myself to play with myself. I care less about how I stack up compared to other people and more so about how much can I improve. And especially in this year, with giving it, a solid, consistent effort every week, I think we're going to start to see some pretty vast improvement, especially as we get closer to the end of this year and we can go back and compare like November 24 to November 25. I think you're going to see some great improvement. I'm already seeing improvement just on a weekly basis because I'll spend, let's say last night, I was focusing on actually editing the video from last week so I could post it this morning. So that video went live this morning that you're seeing, last week, and as you're watching this now, it's probably the following Sunday, and I'm probably out at the gun range again today. So, I'm just doing this on a weekly basis, but because I'm able to watch these videos basically 24 hours before I go out and shoot, it's giving me some time to really like focus on those minute details, and it's giving me a quick refresher onto, okay, what happened last week? What did I work on last week? What did I improve on? What did I like? What did I not like? Where did I see actual improvement on paper? And where do I think I was like wasting time trying to experiment with some techniques? So, looking back at last week's video, I didn't really spend too much time on pistols. There were so many people at the range and I brought a lot of my long guns, so I was eager to kind of go do that stuff too. But just with my pistol, I do feel like where I'm putting my finger on the trigger has become a huge topic for myself, and I'm really improving with that. But it's going to just take little steps every week, and we're going to keep, consistently, steadily growing and getting better at it. So this week's video, I felt like I really had a really much more tightly controlled grouping, and I'm starting to see it almost feels like every week I'm getting like an inch on average, an inch tighter on my groupings, to the point where I'm starting to actually stay within a little bit more of the red zone or a little bit more of the headshot circle that's up high. I may change the type of targets I got at some point. I only got 50 of this type of target, so maybe we'll switch to something more like one of those official targets for the competitive series at some point. But for this year, we're just going to continue to do the reps. We're getting our 6 magazines every week. We're just going to keep going through a little over 100 rounds, trying to improve little by little. And as we go from doing that, we may start introducing some drills like drawing and firing. But I want to make sure that I feel very confident in my control of the weapon and my accuracy. And with that, I think, the safety and the safety operational aspect of it, I think that's kind of coming naturally. If somebody was to say, let's go do a drill right now where you have to draw from your holster and shoot, I think I would do it relatively safely. If somebody said, do it as fast as you can over and over and over again right now, I may have some sort of accident, some sort of ND or, whatever. So we'll get to the drill part of things later on. But for now, I'm just going to keep focusing on your generic pistol accuracy practice. So we're going to keep doing that. Maybe as it gets warmer, actually less clothing will be easier to dig for the firearm if we're going to do drills like that. My main priorities and focus for this year is actually to get myself in a financial position where my wife and I can buy a house. So as we go throughout this year, I'm going to have to stay really disciplined in what I'm investing in. So when it comes to the firearm stuff, I do think my self-protection is a high priority and being able to protect my family. I'm going to continue with the pistol, but I'm probably not going to do as much long gun stuff. I've burned through a good amount of my ammunition supply for long guns. Yes, I love my rifles. I love my AR-15, which you guys haven't even really seen. I love my AR-10, which you've seen a lot. That shotgun is pretty wicked awesome. It's actually, the ammo for that is about as cheap as the pistol ammo, so maybe you'll still see some of that. But things like the M1 Garand, that ammunition's actually pretty expensive. So unless somebody's willing to buy some of that for my birthday, I'm probably not going to be shooting a whole lot of that, at least not this year. like I said, trying to focus on getting my wife and I into a house. We're going over the finances for our company recently, and we're just trying to double down on that. Trying to grow this company pretty aggressively. So that's kind of where my focus is. So you guys just have an understanding of like, oh, why doesn't he shoot more? Why doesn't he do more stuff with his rifles? Well, it's because those ammunitions cost, double or triple the cost of the pistol ammunition. So again, I'm just going to focus on what's really a priority right now. And for me, it's just getting better with the pistol. We'll get our chances in the future to be doing long gun stuff. Once I get into a house, I would love to get into reloading. I would love to get into more long distance marksmanship shooting. I have a variety of other firearms I would love to invest in and to acquire, both historical stuff and maybe some newer stuff, middle of the road, whatever, just cool stuff, right? So like I would love to get into more of that. Last year I acquired that shotgun and I acquired the M1 Garand. Those are really fun purchases, but quite expensive. And this year, if I want to get into a house with my wife, probably not going to be doing a whole lot of extra gun purchases. So we're going to keep it simple, keep it cheap, and just keep focusing on these fundamentals. I have a great gun range that I go to. Yes, it's outdoors, but to me, it's whatever because I work outdoors half the time anyways. I live in an outdoor environment, Pocono Mountains. Everyone's outdoors practically here, so there's really no excuses for the weather. I still come out. Unless it rains, I may try to alternate to a Saturday if it's raining on a Sunday. But again, we're trying to hit the range every week, Sundays, whether it's morning, afternoon, I don't really care. As long as I get out here, put my 6 mags through the gun, and then, skedaddle, get home, review the footage, practice more dry firing at home. That's a big deal to me. I need to start doing more of that, stay disciplined. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. As we get closer to the summer, maybe we'll start introducing some of these actual drills. All right, so thank you for taking the time to listen to me ramble here for a couple minutes. So I hope that helps clear it up with you guys in terms of like what we're doing, what this channel is about. I have an Instagram account, of course. I'll try to start remembering to link that in the descriptions. If you guys want to chat with me, that's probably the best place to do it. And yeah, take care, everyone. I'll see you next week. Bye.